Morning, Madam Perado. This is the continuation of the topic from the group 2. So, paper currency system. Early paper money system had a long tradition of problem. Historical and convertible paper currency frequently was overissued to finance the deficits of the government, often to support war efforts, and become generally unacceptable as a medium of exchange. This inconvertible paper currency is called fiat money because it exists only on the basis of the government decree that is money. So there are a wide variety of possible paper money systems, assuming domestic convertibility of the paper money. Conversion may be permitted in any amount or may be limited to conversion into large quantities to volume. Under both systems, the money issuing agencies may hold either sufficient gold to convert all of the outstanding paper money or may hold gold equal only to some fraction of the paper money. A non-convertible paper currency may also be either fully backed by gold or partially backed by gold. Even though conversion of the paper currency is limited by the gold stock unless changes in the percentage of the gold backing is permitted. The final step in the breaking of the link between gold and currency is the managed and convertible paper money system. Although currency is not convertible, the quantity of money is limited by intelligent management. Under a managed system, a government agency controls the supply of money in order to ensure that the money maintains its value and continue to be an acceptable medium of exchange. So, next topic is the Mickey Mouse money. As the Japanese settled down to occupy the Philippines, they introduced and circulated huge amounts of military peso notes that eventually came to be known as Mickey Mouse money. Earlier in December 1941, as Japanese forces succeeded in invading and taking possession of any locality in the Philippines, they, they issued and circulated these military notes, which they brought with them from Tokyo. At the same time, however, while they were busy consolidating their occupation of the country, they also allowed the pre-war Philippine peso to circulate among the Filipinos on a concurrent basis at its pre-invasion value. By the middle of 1942, though the Japanese military administration promulgated and prescribed a severe penalty on any person using the Philippine peso or the American dollar, it compelled all the Filipinos to recognize and use its military peso notes as the sole and only legal tender for economic transaction throughout the country. According to the Bureau of Census and Statistics, experts in the former office of the United States High Commissioner estimated the value of the Commonwealth peso in terms of the Japanese military notes, showing that the erosion in the value of military notes began in January 1943 when the Philippine Commonwealth peso was worth 1.05 pesos and Japanese military notes 1.40 cents in July 1943 and 2.50 peso by the end of 1943. And military notes in January 1944, the Commonwealth peso was pitching 4 pesos in military notes, 20 pesos in July 1944, and by end of 1944, 90 pesos and progressively worthless. The Filipinos had come to call them the Mickey Mouse money. It was simply the Japanese bayonet that backed them, and that literally kept the vanquished populace and at passing the military notes around in spite of the horrendous inflation they were inflicting on the daily lives of the people. So this is my topic.
Do we need gold? The problems involved in linking money to a precious metal lead to the question: can a monetary system, both domestic and international, be constructed without reliance on gold or other metals? The answer is yes. The world's money supply does not need to be tied to gold. Domestically, there is no need for gold convertibility of the currency. The gold coin standard was eliminated for the reasons stated previously. Gold is limited in supply and does not serve well as a circulating medium. As economic history indicates, the requirement that paper money has to be convertible into gold did not serve to prevent the over-insurance of paper money. Seldom have shortages of gold restrained expansion of the domestic paper money supply. Faith in the domestic currency supply rests not on the basis of convertibility into gold and silver, but on the faith of the populace in the money issuing authority. If the people believe that the government is following sound policies with respect to the control of the money supply, confidence in the value and future acceptability of the money will be maintained regardless of the existence or non-existence of conversion rights. On the international level, the question of convertibility of currency into gold was different because of tradition. The number of countries involved, a greater, a greater belief in the ability of gold to act as a restraint in money supply expansion, and the lack of agreement on a different international monetary system. In 1973, most nations moved unofficially to the floating exchange rate system in which the price of one nation's currency is determined by the market forces of supply and demand. This system can be described as an international flat system because currencies are not convertible into gold. In 1976, when the floating exchange rate system became the official international system, the monetary role of gold was further reduced. The International Monetary Fund decided to sell part of the gold it holds as a result of the payment of membership quotas by participating nations. It now seems certain that gold is to become just another commodity both domestically and internationally. However, some individuals and nation monetary agencies will continue to hold part of their assets in gold. So, gold. Like many of his Inca ancestors, Juan Apaza is possessed by gold, descending into an icy tunnel 17,000 feet up in the Peruvian Andes. The 44 years old miner stuffs a wad of coca leaves into his mouth to brace himself for the inevitable hunger and fatigue. For 30 days each month, Apaza toils without pay, deep inside this mine dug down under the glacier above the world's highest town, La Rinconada. Apaza is still waiting for a stroke of luck. Maybe today will be the big one, he says, flashing a smile that reveals a single gold tooth. To improve his odds, the miner has already made his payment to the earth. A bottle of pisco, the local liquor, placed near the mouth of the mine. A few coca leaves slip under a rock, and several months back a rooster sacrificed by a shaman on the sacred mountain top. Now heading into the tunnel, he mumbles a prayer in his native Quechua language to the deity who rules the mountain and all the gold within. She is our sleeping beauty, says Apaza, nodding towards a sinuous curve in the snowfield high above the mine. Without her blessing, we would never find any gold. We might not make it out of her alive. It isn't El Dorado. Exactly, but for more than 500 years, the glittering seams struck beneath the glacial ice here. 3 miles above sea level have drawn people to this above place in Peru. Among the first were the Inca, who saw the perpetually lustrous metal as the sweat of the sun. Then the Spanish, whose lust for gold and silver spurred the conquest of the New World. The scene may sound almost medieval, but La Rinconada is one of the frontier of a thoroughly modern phenomenon at 21st century gold rush. No single element has tantalized and tormented the human imagination more than the shimmering metal known by the chemical symbol Au, or gold. For thousands of years, the desire to possess gold has driven people to extreme fueling, wars and conquests, girding empires and currencies, leveling mountains and forests. Gold is not vital to human existence. It has in fact relatively few practical uses. Yet its chief virtues, its un- unusual density and malleability along with its perishable shine, a transcendent symbol of beauty, wealth, and immortality from pharaohs in what they call the flesh of gods to the 49ers, to the financiers. Nearby, every society through the ages has invested gold with an almost mythological power. What it's worth. The price of gold was first standardized in the late 1717 by Sir Isaac Newton, then England's master of the mint in coins and later as backing for paper money, is fluctuated with world crisis and market forces. After 1971, when the dominant US dollar was no longer tied to gold, the metal became a freely traded, often volatile commodity. While investors flocked to new gold-backed funds, jewelry still accounts for two-thirds of the demand, generating a record $53.5 billion in worldwide sale in 2007. In the US, an activist-driven "No Dirty Gold" campaign has persuaded many top jewelry retailers to stop selling gold from mines that cause severe social or environmental damage, but such concerns don't ruffle the biggest consumer nations, namely India, where a gold obsession is woven in the culture, and China, which leaped past the US in 2007 to become the world's second largest buyer of gold jewelry. How it's used. Jewelry dominates gold consumption. The metal is also critical in electronics as an efficient, non-corroding conductor. At one end of the spectrum are the armies of poor migrant workers converging on small-scale mines like Rinconada, according to the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, or UNIDO. There are between 10 million and 15 million so-called artisanal miners around the world, from Mongolia to Brazil. Employing crude methods that have hardly changed in centuries, they produce about 25% of the world's gold and support a total of 100 million people. It's a vital activity for these people and deadly too. In the, new, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo in the past decade, local armed groups fighting for control of gold mines and trading routes have routinely terrorized and tortured miners and used profits from gold to buy weapons and fund their activities. So that's all. That's my topic, Madam Pereda.